Something is happening across Europe that no one saw coming, not even the governments themselves. Entire populations are packing their bags, abandoning their homes, and walking away from countries once seen as dream destinations. This isn't about tourism, this is a full-blown exodus. Rising costs, collapsing services, political unrest, and vanishing job prospects are driving millions to seek better lives elsewhere. It's not just families fleeing poor neighborhoods, it's skilled workers, students, and entrepreneurs heading for the exits. What's causing this mass departure, and why now? The numbers are shocking, and the trends are accelerating. From southern coastlines to central European capitals, people are leaving behind everything they once called home. Here are the 10 European countries people are leaving in 2025, and the reasons might surprise you. Number 10. Portugal. Portugal was once hailed as a retirement haven and digital nomad hotspot, but in 2025, cracks beneath the surface are forcing many to leave. Skyrocketing housing prices, driven by foreign buyers and urban takeovers, have pushed locals out of their own neighborhoods. Even middle-class families can't afford rent in major cities like Lisbon and Porto anymore. Wages haven't kept up with the rising cost of living, and job opportunities remain limited outside of tourism and hospitality. For younger generations, the dream of owning property or building a stable future feels completely out of reach. The result? An accelerating brain drain of skilled professionals heading north. Many families are moving to countries like Germany or the Netherlands in search of better pay, stronger benefits, and affordable housing options. Even Portuguese citizens who once returned home after working abroad are now leaving again. The economy may look strong on paper, but daily life tells a different story. Portugal's government is scrambling to address the crisis, but critics say the response is too little, too late. Urban sprawl, gentrification, and low investment in social infrastructure have only worsened the divide. For many, leaving isn't just a choice, it's survival. And we're just getting started. The next country has seen one of the sharpest youth exits in all of Europe, and it's only getting worse. Number 9. Italy. Italy might be rich in history, culture, and scenery, but in 2025, it's facing a growing exodus of working-age citizens and young professionals. The country's stagnant economy, bureaucratic red tape, and limited job prospects are driving people, especially the youth, to look elsewhere for opportunity. What was once romanticized as La Dolce Vita now feels increasingly unsustainable. Italy's southern regions are the hardest hit, plagued by unemployment rates that have soared above 20% in some areas. Public services like healthcare and education have deteriorated, and corruption continues to block innovation and foreign investment. Many feel trapped in a cycle of low wages, long waits, and limited upward mobility. Even the North, traditionally more prosperous, is seeing residents move abroad in pursuit of better work-life balance and job stability. Countries like Switzerland, Austria, and Germany have become magnets for Italian professionals in medicine, engineering, and tech. Entire communities are shrinking as skilled workers quietly disappear. Government incentives to retain talent haven't reversed the trend, as most policies are underfunded or bogged down by delays and inefficiencies. With inflation rising and living standards dropping, more people are taking their chances abroad. The dream of a stable life in Italy is fading fast. But if you think that's alarming, wait until you hear what's happening in this next country, where even doctors and teachers are lining up to leave. Number 8. Greece. Greece may have weathered its financial crisis, but in 2025, the scars are still pushing thousands out of the country every single year. Economic recovery has been painfully slow, and austerity measures continue to squeeze public services, wages, and job creation. Many families simply don't see a future here anymore. Young Greeks are leading the departure, disillusioned by low salaries, long working hours, and a lack of upward mobility across nearly every sector. Doctors, engineers, and academics are leaving in droves, often finding better opportunities in Germany, the UK, and even the Middle East. Brain drain has become one of Greece's biggest modern exports. High taxation, limited infrastructure, and a bloated public sector have strangled entrepreneurship and deterred investment. Citizens are fed up with waiting for reforms that never arrive or arrive too late. Frustration is turning into farewell letters stamped with one-way tickets. Even tourism, once a saving grace, can't employ the number of people leaving or match the wages offered abroad. Seasonal work is unstable, and rising living costs in urban centers make survival a daily struggle. Many who stayed through the crisis are now giving up altogether. Stay tuned, because the next country may have one of Europe's strongest passports. But its residents are ditching it faster than ever before. Number 7. Spain. Spain's vibrant cities and sunny coastlines may look like paradise, but in 2025, a growing number of Spaniards are deciding they've had enough. Despite a thriving tourism industry, locals face limited job prospects, unstable contracts, and some of the lowest wages in Western Europe. The reality is far from the postcard. Young people are especially affected, with youth unemployment rates stubbornly hovering above 30% in several regions, making long-term financial planning nearly impossible. Many university graduates are working in hospitality or retail, unable to find jobs in their actual fields. Frustration and hopelessness are fueling record-breaking immigration. The cost of living continues to rise, especially in cities like Barcelona and Madrid, where rent prices now rival those in major northern capitals. Meanwhile, public investment in healthcare and education has plateaued, leaving services overstretched and underfunded. Everyday life feels more expensive but less rewarding. Retirement-age citizens are also leaving, seeking more affordable healthcare and housing in Eastern Europe or Latin America. Even once affordable rural areas are no longer shielded from inflation and resource cuts. Spain's domestic comfort is slipping through its people's fingers. And if you think Spain has it rough, the next country is watching entire villages vanish as citizens flee to more stable ground overseas. Number 6. Bulgaria. Bulgaria is experiencing one of the sharpest population declines in Europe, with entire communities being abandoned as people seek better lives abroad. The country's aging infrastructure, low wages, and declining public services have pushed many to leave, especially the young and educated. The mass exit shows no signs of slowing down. Despite EU membership, Bulgaria has struggled to offer the same standards of living or opportunity as its Western neighbors, creating a persistent east-to-west migration flow. Healthcare systems are collapsing under lack of funding, and schools are shutting down due to dwindling enrollment. Many see no path forward if they stay. Most immigrants head to Germany, the United Kingdom, or Scandinavia, where jobs pay more and social systems actually support long-term success. For many Bulgarians, leaving is no longer about ambition, it's about necessity. The local economy just can't absorb its own people. Those who stay face rising utility costs, outdated housing, and weak legal protections in both employment and property rights. Corruption still hinders basic services and blocks real political change from taking root. Hope is leaving faster than the people themselves. Stick with us, because what's coming next is a country many still call safe, but for its citizens, the escape routes are getting crowded. Number 5. France. France might boast world-class culture, cuisine, and global influence, but in 2025, many of its citizens are quietly walking away from it all. Soaring taxes, increasing social unrest, and an overwhelmed public sector are pushing the middle class to search for new beginnings elsewhere. The promises of prosperity are fading fast. Healthcare delays, transportation strikes, and urban insecurity are becoming everyday realities for families trying to maintain a stable lifestyle in major cities. Paris, once seen as a pinnacle of European living, now feels overcrowded, overpriced, and politically polarized. Even the dream of rural life is being overshadowed by collapsing infrastructure and neglected services. Skilled professionals are leaving in record numbers, citing better opportunities in Canada, Switzerland, and the Gulf states where wages are higher and bureaucracy less punishing. Many cite frustration with France's slow-moving system and rigid labor market. For them, starting over elsewhere is worth the risk. Youth disillusionment is growing too, with many graduates struggling to find jobs that match their qualifications or offer upward mobility. The brain drain is real, and the consequences will echo for generations if nothing changes. Even the French government admits the trend is accelerating. And if you think France's problems are tough, wait until you see what's happening in this next country, where locals are escaping even faster. Number 4. Romania. Romania has become Europe's silent departure zone, where nearly every family knows someone who has left or is planning to leave in the near future. Economic growth exists on paper, but daily life is defined by underpaid jobs, unreliable healthcare, and political frustration. The illusion of stability no longer holds. Entire villages in rural Romania are half empty, with abandoned homes and schools closed for lack of students or staff. Urban areas aren't much better, burdened by traffic, pollution, and inadequate social programs. The public mood is one of quiet despair and constant departure. Doctors, nurses, engineers, and IT workers are among the first to go, snapped up by Western nations offering better salaries and living conditions. Even students are using study abroad programs as exit plans. Romania is training talent for other countries. Those who stay often face unpredictable inflation, mounting energy costs, and limited access to fair housing or quality education. Political corruption and slow reforms have shattered public trust in long-term change. For many, immigration is the only form of empowerment left. Coming up next is a country that's considered a European heavyweight. But even there, people are turning away in search of something better. Number 3. Germany. Germany has long been considered the economic engine of Europe. But in 2025, even it is struggling to keep its people from leaving. High energy costs, an aging population, and a housing crisis are pushing many young professionals to explore opportunities abroad. The burden of sustaining Europe's largest economy is weighing heavily on its citizens. Inflation and utility bills have hit households hard, particularly after the energy shocks of recent years that reshaped Germany's cost of living. Housing shortages in cities like Berlin and Munich have made affordable rentals almost impossible to find. Life feels more expensive, but not necessarily better. Germany's healthcare and education systems are under severe strain, with long wait times and growing dissatisfaction among workers and service recipients alike. Skilled workers are taking their talents to countries where workloads are lighter and compensation more competitive. Even longtime public servants are burning out and opting to leave. Bureaucracy remains a major barrier to entrepreneurship, especially for immigrants and younger citizens hoping to build something new within the system. Despite its global reputation for order and stability, many feel Germany is becoming too rigid to adapt. Frustration is simmering beneath the surface. But the next country has taken things to an entirely different level, where families, workers, and even the elderly are all looking for an exit. Number 2. Poland. Poland has seen rapid development in the past 2 decades, but in 2025, cracks are beginning to show and people are leaving faster than ever. Wages remain low relative to Western standards, while living costs in urban centers are creeping up at an unsustainable rate. The promise of prosperity feels increasingly hollow. Poland's political climate has grown tense, with clashes over judicial reform, press freedom, and civil rights dividing public opinion and stalling progress. Many citizens feel unheard, disillusioned, and pushed out by systemic dysfunction. The resulting frustration is driving mass departures across all age groups. Healthcare and education are in decline, especially in rural areas where staffing shortages are reaching crisis levels. The government's attempts to attract workers back from abroad have largely failed, as many find life better in countries like the UK, Germany, and Ireland. Trust in institutions is eroding fast. Young professionals, students, and entire families are packing up and heading west, sometimes with no clear plan beyond leaving. Job mobility and visa access across the EU make the transition easier, and the momentum is growing. Poland is losing its people faster than it can replace them. Coming up next, the number 1 country Europeans are leaving in 2025. And the reasons? More urgent and heartbreaking than you might think. Number 1. United Kingdom. Once seen as a land of opportunity and global influence, the United Kingdom in 2025 is witnessing one of the largest outbound migrations in its modern history. The fallout from Brexit, economic stagnation, and skyrocketing living costs have driven citizens across all classes to explore life elsewhere. Even London, long a global hub, is losing its grip on residents. Healthcare under the NHS is buckling under pressure, with wait times reaching record highs and staff shortages becoming an everyday crisis. Workers in education, public transport, and emergency services are striking regularly, and public trust in governance is at an all-time low. The system feels broken, and fewer people believe it can be fixed. Housing is another catastrophe, with average home prices and rents outpacing incomes dramatically, especially in England's major cities. Even middle-class families are finding themselves priced out or forced into substandard living conditions. The dream of home ownership is slipping away. British youth are especially restless, citing poor job prospects, underfunded universities, and limited career advancement compared to options in Europe, Australia, or Canada. Even retirees are relocating to places with better health care, warmer climates, and lower expenses. The idea of a future in the UK no longer appeals to many. And now, in 2025, the United Kingdom tops the list of countries its own people are trying to leave. The reasons are clear, and they're growing by the day. Europe is changing, and not in the way most expected. In 2025, the mass movement of people out of once stable nations is not just a trend, it's a warning. From political unrest to crumbling infrastructure, the reasons people are leaving tell a bigger story about the continent's challenges. Skilled professionals, students, and even retirees are all packing up for greener pastures, looking for stability, opportunity, and dignity abroad. And the countries losing them are struggling to stop the flow. The ripple effects will be felt for generations. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. We'll keep digging into the stories others avoid, so you always know what's really going on. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.